Welcome to the first Hollywood Bob's Redman reaction. I'm Bob Redman, come to you live from my studio office in my home, trying to work on what is a pretty new technology for myself with not many bells or whistles, but hopefully providing you with some new thoughts and insights into different Gator sports. Enough of that. Let's get started with our first subject, which has been a pretty constant theme on the Gators and More podcast that I'm a co host on. I'm talking about the name, image, and likeness, the NIL. For years, many people have been proponents of players making money for playing the games that they do because of all the money generated by the major sports. But the general consensus about the subject has been that doing so would create an even bigger chasm between the haves and the have nots. And that is exactly what we are seeing happen. We see the fights between Nick Saban in Alabama and Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, and I think most people just kind of roll their eyes at these two when it comes to arguing about paying players. You could take from that what you will, but the prevailing thought and sense I get from Florida fans that will follow this stuff is a question of whether or not Florida is going to actually keep up. Here's what I believe: the Gators have the right guy in charge to get this done. While there's been a whole lot of angst about $30 million at Texas A&M for their last class, and the billionaire in Miami doing what he's doing to secure a top class there, Billy Napier has been rolling up his sleeves, getting around the state, making friends, and all the right people. The Gator Guard and the Gator Collective is the way they are going about doing stuff, something that Saban and the guy in Miami are complaining about. Some dust is going to have to settle here, but I really think that Napier really has things under control. On Thursday, he answered questions with the media, and one was thrown out about Florida safety Trey Dean and the ability for the young man to buy his mom a car for Mother's Day. Napier took the question head on and said that Dean put himself in a position to navigate the NIL space in order to do that for his mom. Listen here.
One of our best, the guy's a Florida graduate. Trey is, we're thankful for the opportunity to coach Trey for another year. Trey's a guy that believed in us, gave us an opportunity, came back to the University of Florida. I think he cares about this place. He wants to win. And he's working hard to improve as a player. Trey's created value for himself as a result of a lot of hard work. Trey's one of the hardest working guys we have on the team. Unbelievable effort in all areas of his life. It certainly comes from a great family, cares significantly about his parents, and certainly NIL. In these days, if you create value for yourself, you work hard and you put yourself in position where you can earn a wage, it creates opportunities like that. So I'm hopeful that we'll have more players that continue to improve, that work hard, that represent themselves the right way, that get NIL opportunities.
The thing we know about Napier is that he's very methodical. And even though we know he would like to have some bigger fish already in the commitment bucket this cycle, I actually have real confidence that the recruiting is going to happen. Florida sells the prospects on playing in Gainesville and then lets the current athletes talk to these high profile prospects about what the NIL is doing for them at Florida. I believe most would agree that the Gators got through the transfer portal period with losing one really promising player in Tyron Hopper. In the meantime, they pulled in several that should be a big help in the fall. Napier's been pressed to really study the similarities between the portal and NFL free agency. Listen to this.
I've been studying the National Football League because I think there are some things to learn. Now, every player on our team that has a transfer before is a free agent every year, truth be known. So that's the one thing that we lack that the National Football League has, right? There is free agency, but there is no salary cap and there is no contractual obligation, right? So there are things that we can learn from the NFL, but there are a lot of things that don't apply as well. So, I do think that players, because there is an opportunity to have representation for NIL, you've seen that trend. And I think there's some wisdom into that, but I also think that there's a lot more to these decisions than NIL. So, I think that going forward, the third party, there's a lot of gray area here, right, relative to representation, what I can say, what I can't say, what the third party can do, what they can't do, right? I mean, right now we're living in a land with no laws, if that makes sense. So, but I do think, I continue to believe, and as every day goes by, and the more that we are boots on the ground, as we get out and we get to know people, NIL it's got to be a slam dunk for the Florida Gators.
Now, I think if you're a Gator fan, you kind of have to love the confidence and swagger that Napier ended that last answer with. The methodical man is a very confident one. There have been a couple of big splashes in the NIL space for Florida. Napier and the program have been comfortable about making them public, something you don't see from the likes of the Aggies and the Red Elephants. I've been covering Florida athletics for more than 18 years now, and those that know me know that I've been able to kind of hide in the bushes and get some things that others haven't been able to get over time. Well, I'm here to tell you that we should expect more big splashes in terms of NIL funding coming soon. That's going to only add to the confidence that Napier exudes, and that should also promote the confidence in the fans when it comes to recruiting in Gainesville.